Hello people of the internet, this is Howard bringing you another video game commentary. Today's Wednesday, so you know what that means. It's a weekly Wednesday, so I'll be telling you all about some of the biggest news headlines in the past week. Recently, France has been in great civil unrest. This is the case due to the fact that exactly 1 week ago, on Wednesday, January 7th, two masked gunmen broke into the headquarters offices of Charlie Hebdo, a satirical weekly newspaper in Paris, France, and killed 12 people, including the editor of the publication, which is widely considered to be one of France's best cartoonists, and two officers. They were armed with assault rifles, a shotgun, and a rocket launcher of sorts. These attacks were prompted by, quote, blasphemy against Islam, end quote, which were published by Charlie Hebdo very recently. As a result of this act of terror, France put its terror level at the highest one, since the assailants were, quote, armed and dangerous, end quote. Between the 8th and 9th, 3 of the suspected assailants were tracked down, however, not without hostages being taken and another 5 deaths. One of the suspects is still on the run and is still being tracked down. 3 days ago, however, on the 11th, 2 million people and 40 world leaders met in Paris, France, for a rally to promote unity for the nation, in which the catchphrase for the day was Je suis Charlie Hebdo, which means I am Charlie Hebdo. Today, the publication released its first issue since Attack, since it is, of course, a weekly news publication, and the cover depicted the Muslim prophet Muhammad with the words, all is forgiven, on it as well. On another note, this time domestic, U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder stepped down from his position. He was a very liberal Attorney General, and he was very political, trying to use his position to influence legislation. Since his resignation, President Barack Obama has nominated Loretta Lynch to the position, and she awaits Senate confirmation. If confirmed by the Senate, she will be the first African American woman to hold the position in the history of the United States. Although she leans left, she is more centrist than Eric Holder ever was, and is far less political than him as well, which is quite a bit more appealing to the current Republican Senate than someone who would be more like Holder. From DC to Wall Street, the economy seems to continue its recent ascent as Wall Street stocks as well as European shares have steeply risen, whereas unfortunately the vast majority of Asian indexes have fell. Thankfully though, the price of oil has also continued its descent to under $45 a barrel. This has been an important week in sports as well. In the NFL, the conference playoffs have been occurring, and the conference finals are coming up this weekend after exciting games this past weekend in the conference semis, which saw the Seahawks and Packers winning in the NFC after a questionable call that cost the Cowboys the game versus the Packers. And in the AFC, the Colts and Pats move on in big wins by each team. With these 4 teams playing, they all have a chance to win and get to the Super Bowl in hopes of winning the coveted Lombardi Trophy. Speaking of football trophies, The Ohio State University won the NCAA football championship against a strong Oregon Duck team this past weekend, even though Oregon were definitely the favorites after a sound 59-20 win in the Rose Bowl, which was a record for the most points ever scored in that game. Transitioning from American football to football, meaning soccer, the 2014 Team of the Year was announced this past week by FIFA, which is the 11 players, one for each position, who played the best in the 2014 calendar year, as voted by their fellow players from around the world. The team consisted of Manuel Neuer behind the sticks, who plays for FC Bayern Munich and Germany, who were the World Cup winners. The defense consisted of FC Bayern's German right back Philipp Lahm, PSG's Brazilian center back Thiago Silva, Real Madrid's Spanish center back Sergio Ramos, and, very controversially, PSG's other Brazilian center back David Luiz, who nobody expected to make it since he hasn't been playing very well either in Ligue 1, which is the French soccer league, since his team got fourth, and since he did so poorly in the World Cup, especially in that game against Germany. In the midfield were Real Madrid's German center mid Toni Kroos, Barcelona's Spanish center mid Andres Iniesta, and Real Madrid's former player who was traded to Manchester United before the season, Argentinian central attacking midfielder Angel Di Maria, were selected. And the attacking trio, which must have been to be close to unanimous since almost every report predicted these three, and since these three players definitely deserved it, were Real Madrid's Portuguese Cristiano Ronaldo, who also won the Ballon d'Or, FC Barcelona's Argentinian Lionel Messi, and FC Bayern Munich's Dutch right-winger Arjen Robben. Now, going from the pitch to the hardwood, the NBA's league leaders are the Golden State Warriors, who have also only recently put together a good team via the draft, free agency, and amazing trades. Behind the backcourt of the Splash Brothers, Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson, they're predicted to get .95 championships within the next 5 years, so it is very likely that they'll win one and bring the Bay Area a lot of pride and a lot to celebrate. Nipping at their heels is a solid and surprisingly similar Portland Trailblazer team, whereas in the East, the top team is the Hawks, who have been on a very hot streak as of late. Thank you. This has been Howard with another video game commentary and today's Weekly Wednesday, which was the first of its kind. Thank you, and if you like this video, make sure to like it, and if you liked it so much as to give me a subscription, that would be all the better. And just don't forget, don't go changing.